Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Crash, and today I have two very special guests. Now, if you've read the title of the video, you probably know who they are. They are Axelablaze and Tron. And if you haven't checked their channels, you should. The Tron has a video, or two videos actually, on the two new manga from the batch from Shonen Jump, Witch Watch and ITLC. And Axelablaze just made a video where he goes through my Shonen Jump challenge. So if you guys want to see his pics, go head over to his channel. Now, what we're gonna do today is to watch a couple of covers from Shonen Jump and react to them. So we have a couple of the most iconic covers, we have a couple of the most ugly covers, and some of the best covers in my opinion. So I picked most of these. So, you guys want to say something before we start?
Yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Also, make sure to subscribe to Crash.
If you somehow haven't subscribed to Crash already.
Yeah.
It's like 50% of all viewers aren't subscribed to Manga Crash. So if you're one of those 50%, subscribe to Manga Crash now. Other than that, happy to be here. This'll be fun because there's a lot of history, and I just realized I hold down the push to talk button in the chat, so I'm gonna stop doing that right now.
So just to have in mind, I looked through all 2,856 issues of Shonen Jump. So that is a ton of covers from the past.
Insane.
Yeah, it's from the past like 52 years. And a lot of them are really cool. Like if we go through we're going to go through some of the old ones here, and they basically have the style from like the 70s. The style of their covers haven't changed much. And so I wanted to start with the three manga that Shonen Jump itself found the most iconic. So in the 50th anniversary that they had a couple years ago, they reissued three of their most iconic issues, and I wanted to start with those three. So the first one is the first run, so issue number 1 from Shonen Jump from August 1st, 1968, and I think it's ugly in my opinion, but pretty iconic nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely iconic since it is the first one. I'm not really familiar with the series on the cover. Not the biggest fan of the general design either.
Yeah, the designs like in the 50s, in the 60s are all kind of like this. I'm not really a big fan of either, but just what they did back then, I guess.
It's interesting, like, I mean, because if you go on like the Shonen Jump Wikipedia, this is the image that comes up first,
Yeah.
because again, it is that first one. I will say one of the interesting things about it is that it really captures, like, this is a perfect time capsule to show like how way back in the day there more or less were like two styles of manga that were really popular, like the ones that were like really realistic, as in like the race car one to the right, but then like the stuff that we're familiar with where it's the more cartoony figures on the left. So the fact that they've got those two on the cover is really telling of just how things have changed. Not that there aren't, realistic ones today. There are a lot of them. But that was, that's kind of where things started.
Yeah, I don't think there's many in Shonen Jump right now. They're definitely more for the cartoonies, the stylized style, I think.
Right. I can't even remember off the top of my head what was the last like really realistic one. There hasn't been for like a long time.
The last one I remember, we're gonna look at the cover for it. It's from the mid 2000s, and it's Eyes, II/S, which is pretty realistic. But other than that, I don't really remember either. And by the way, the series. So the series on the right, it's Speed Racer, I think, which is not a Shonen Jump series, but they had a couple of chapters published in the first couple of issues. And the one on the left is Kujiro Daigo, which is a very important series because it was the first series in Shonen Jump, so in the very first pages, And in very Jump style, it was also the very first series to be cancelled in Shonen Jump.
Oh my god. Can you imagine that? Being the title, one of the title cover, or like title series, and being the first one cancelled in the magazine.
It does show that they haven't changed in a bit.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Moving on from that, the next two issues are, I think, really famous as well, and they're more similar to the modern style of Jump. So the first one is this one, and it's the debut issue from JoJo, which is from 1986, I think.
Yes. My JoJo.
Yeah. What I found interesting about this one, and they don't do it anymore, is that the cover of the issue is also the cover for the first volume of JoJo's Part 1.
I was gonna say, like, that's, yeah, that is it right there. I mean, for me, I'm loving, because of that, I'm loving the color scheme of this cover, because you don't get that more often than not. Like, you usually get, like, isn't it like a yellow background more often than not for like Jump? And so the fact that we're seeing blue and black and purple and then like the red lettering and whatnot, it's like fantastic in my opinion. Like that's really cool.
Actually, quite like the cover compared to the volume, and the anime cover is a callback to this one as well. Don't like that much. But yeah, moving on, I also have One Piece's debut cover, which is the last one of these three iconic covers that they reissued.
Yeah, I also really enjoy this cover. Obviously, One Piece being one of my favorite series. I think that it really, like, kind of embodies what One Piece is as a series, just by the cover, at least as much as a cover could do. Also, I kind of like the yellow inner stroke on the titling, and it matches the One Piece logo, starting to look like a little bit more like the modern covers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is from 1997, so it's really close to.
It's interesting
comparatively.
Oh, sorry. It's interesting to see all of the background characters in this one, just because like there are so many of them that we, well, either don't see again or don't see for a very long time. If I'm not mistaken, because I'm looking at this like as close as I can, I think they have the top of Zoro's head cut off. I think he's the one standing next to Nami. I could be incredibly wrong in that regard, but it's just, if that is him, I think it's hilarious that his head is being half covered by Luffy's hand, which, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, is an anatomically correct hand, but like, there's something about that index finger that's just weirding me out.
What I find interesting about having Nami in the cover is that Nami only appears in like chapter 10 or something, and we have her here before Zoro even appears. If that is Zoro, it's covered. So I think the rest of it is all Shanks' crew as well.
At least on the right hand side. I don't know that some of the ones on the left are. I mean, then again, like, I don't remember all the way back to what everyone on Shanks' crew looked like. Didn't help that we didn't see him again for like 600 chapters either.
I think one of them, the one near Nami, is Usopp's dad, I'm pretty sure. Yasop.
Maybe.
So, moving on to some weirder manga, like from the 60s or 70s. There are some really weird shit, and I just wanted to show you guys this one in particular. And I want to hear your thoughts on this one.
That is very interesting. It immediately reminds me of, I forgot what manga it was from. I saw Axel tweet about it, about like this weird page from a chapter.
Fire Force this week. Fire
Yeah.
Force. Oh my god.
It reminds me of that. Yeah, I don't know. Not much thoughts on it. It's just pretty unique, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, so for me personally, like, this is different in that it's like a live person shown in a humorous way compared to how there are some of the other weekly magazines, whether they're shonen or seinen, will have like I'm gonna probably butcher this word, but gravure idols like on the covers. So like there are a lot of manga that do have like live people on the covers with like the little pictures of like whatever like cover anime or like color page stuff is on like the side margins and whatnot. But it's so interesting to see a funny live action picture on a cover in comparison. So that really that is funny.
And by the way, on the same note, this is from 1991, but it is again another weird real life guy on the cover. And there's another
sleep
one.
Paralysis demon on the bottom apparently.
I hadn't even noticed that creature. It's got like a weird growling creature. I have no idea what this is about. I have a couple of notes for the covers, and the note that I wrote for this one is "What the fuck 1991."
Yeah. Why? Why?
I do have one more, but I want to leave that one for the last because I think it's the best cover in Shonen Jump history. So I want to show a couple of debut covers, and I think we should start with one of the most iconic series, and actually the series that I was reading a little earlier today, which is Okuro no Ken. And this is another cover that I feel like it's pretty ugly, not because of Okuro, or Kenshiro, sorry, because Kenshiro looks pretty badass, but the color scheme, like this yellow, is, I don't know, I just find it really ugly.
Yeah, no, I can get that. It doesn't help that they have like that pink lettering for him, like below his crotch. Like, I mean, like, by all means, purple would have been a little bit better in terms of a contrast, I guess, but like, the yellow surrounding him is just not a good look. There's just a lot of yellow, and that's not really appealing to look at. But you said, though, this was the debut issue?
Yeah, this is the debut issue of Okuro no Ken.
Gotcha. It's crazy to think that, like, pre-Dragon Ball, this was the series that made everybody design their main characters to look like him.
Yeah, like, when I'm looking at Okuro no Ken, the things that I'm remembering is JoJo, like the first three parts of JoJo. It's just so similar in the art style.
Oh yeah, because that was released in that time period where everybody was making characters that looked very similar to him. And yeah, that was in JoJo before Araki was just like, but what if they were slimmer?
Yeah. Before it was like, what if they were insane? Okay, so this is the one. This is the debut of V's, which is not really that much of a iconic series, but this is the realistic manga I was telling you guys about. And I don't know, it just feels so weird to have that style. It's a bit too realistic in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of like in that uncanny valley range where it's not a real picture, but it looks so close, it's just kind of creepy.
Yeah, exactly. There are there are the covers from these that look better, but this one just, it's mesmerizing just how weird it is.
And I get this was older too, and that this is me nitpicking and not necessarily about the girl on the cover itself, but using pink lettering in the hair, like they're trying to cram in a lot of information there for whatever reason, and it doesn't look good. Like I don't even know how legible that necessarily is in person, but like, why that much text? Why that much pink text? And I mean, obviously there wasn't a whole lot of like space to put it otherwise, but like, just the fact that the sides of her hair are just covered in pink text is weird.
They could have found somewhere else or other color, I suppose. Because yeah, it's not really that readable.
Or, I mean, I don't know if they could have just shortened it or had some other images on the cover to, like, say, like, hey, there's more information inside the cover. You don't have to read all of it right here. But I think they didn't necessarily learn that lesson until much later on, as we've seen so far with how much text they just like to cram on the front page.
Yeah, that is true. Like even the Yokoro no Ken cover, they have a lot of text, and nowadays they just have like a square of whatever series is featured on the cover, or on the magazine. I mean.
Yeah, and then they'll have like the image of like their head or whatever like on the sides for whatever the 2 to 3 color page series are for that volume.
Yeah. So, moving on to the big three, this is the debut cover of Naruto. Early Naruto is always nice to look at.
Yeah, I don't think I'm super fond of the cover. Just kind of like a lot of the other ones, there's a little bit too much yellow for me. Like it almost seems like the background is running off onto his jacket and his face some. But I think the design of early Naruto looks really cool on the cover, though.
Yeah, and I like that since this is the debut, it has the goggles instead of the iconic headband.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with all the points that Tron brought up. It's very reminiscent to Hokuto no Ken with the just yellow, like you the fact that like besides Naruto, the fact that they had like yellow text on the right hand side bordered in red, and they're like, you couldn't just choose another color. You couldn't have chosen like the blue accents of his outfit as like the background. You just had to make it yellow and paler yellow. Like you couldn't choose. I mean, at least here they're starting to learn their lesson by not just overloading the cover with text. Like you can see like on the bottom they've got like the 2 other series, or like I'm guessing are the color pages for that issue with the little blurbs and then like the little circle for them. But like, yeah, the yellow, I can't forgive it.
Well, I think there's a couple more yellows we're gonna have to deal with. But for now, Bleach, which is from 2001. I really like. I don't think the quality of this particular cover is that good on the image that I'm showing you guys, but I like the color scheme of this one.
I also really like the color scheme in the cover. One other thing, I guess, is that with the Shonen Jump magazines, they obviously have to like cram as much stuff in as possible. But I would have liked it if the picture at the bottom was removed and we just saw Ichigo and Rukia.
Yeah.
They're
the Yu-Gi-Oh
really
cards.
they're really trying to sell the embodiment of Apophis on the cover here, which I mean, like, yeah, for the longest time, like they would promote Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the front cover, because this was really when like the Yu-Gi-Oh card game was popping off, because this was in the middle of Battle City, but the only. I wish that they could have given Bleach the credit that it was due on this cover. I don't like the vertical bleach and like the font that they use, or the fact that it's just kind of cut off. That's weird. But the bigger thing that I can't forgive is the fact that they have Hikaru no Go on this cover, because Hikaru no Go is a trash series.
Hey, I liked Hikaru no Go.
It had an awful ending. Awful.
Oh, yeah. I think
Just
that's true for
the
a
whole
lot
thing.
of Jump series that have awful endings.
But Shaman King and Prince of Tennis, they're okay in my book. I mean, well, more than okay. But like, Hikaru no Go, boo, boo.
Sorry, I just want to say that Shaman King's original Jump ending was the worst. I don't know if you read it, but it was the worst.
I did. It's not great. I mean, it's not Hikaru no Go. levels of bad. But like I can understand how some people would find it bad. But I mean, I don't think it was enough to tank the series, so I'll say that.
No, and with the Kanzenban edition, it got pretty solid as well. But yeah, the only thing I don't like about this cover is honestly the Yu-Gi-Oh cards just on top of Rukia. But I think because Zombie Powder got cancelled, they probably weren't expecting much from Bleach on the first time it was released.
That is a fair assessment. That could definitely be the reason. I think, I mean, that being said, I think it just was unfortunate for Bleach that it got put in the time period where that particular Yu-Gi-Oh card was being released in Shonen Jump, because like at that time that was a decent Yu-Gi-Oh card that was being just given away in Shonen Jump. So I don't know. It's they were really trying to push that Yu-Gi-Oh card, I think, more than they were trying to push Bleach.
It was worth it.
Well, for the people that got it, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the next debut one is one of my favorite covers in Jump, and I don't want you guys trashing it. It's the Death Note debut cover, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it's unlike any other cover I've seen in Jump so far.
Yeah, I actually completely agree. It's really unique. I like the pinkish red they use in the like main logo font. And also it's kind of nice seeing that Light and Ryuk get to like take really center stage of the magazine and not really covered up by too much clutter.
Yeah, contrary to what we've seen so far.
Is definitely interesting. The one thing I'll note on there, like while obviously the Death Note imagery right there is so serious and whatnot, it's hilarious to me that like in the bottom right, Kochikame is just ripping out of his shirt. Like it's just like, let's have something like really dark and like mysterious and edgy, but then let's have Kochikame just muscling out of his shirt in the bottom right corner, because why not? It's Jump.
Yeah, why not? Oh, and the last, or actually, yeah, not the last, but one of the last debut covers we have. It's by I forgot the word, but many people requested. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry, and it's this one, which is one of the best covers I've ever seen, up with Death Note.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Build King is a modern classic. It's really exciting to see such a fantastic series serializing weekly. Just happy to be around reading it. Definitely caught up.
Yeah, it's not like that hammer is in any way symbolizing an axe coming down right in the middle of Build King to imply that this series is going to cancel itself in the future.
Jesus.
Oh my God, I've been laughing on my end this entire time. Just like not pushing the talk. Just, oh my God, like the cover itself isn't bad. The problem is the series itself is, and that's really the issue. Like it's just like, oh, look at this really cool image, and it's like Toriko's creator is back, and just like Build King, and yeah, and then you read it and it's just like, oh, can I get my $3 back for the Jump that I paid for?
I don't actually have it here, but at least the Samurai 8 cover just said Naruto in like giant letters. At least with Build King, I don't see them use Toriko's name to sell it.
At least it's not evident. I think that the red, yellow, and green letters might be the author's name, but like, yeah, they're not like, hey, this is from the maker of Toriko, because at the same time they might be like, maybe we shouldn't necessarily just blatantly advertise who this author is, knowing that he has a troubled past like other people that we've canceled before. But hey, Build King, yay!
I don't know, I don't see Jump caring that much if they continue with Samurai X. So But that's a different topic.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at least they're mentioning that there's a color page for Phantom Seer in this issue. And same with Mission Yozakura family. So, hey, positives. Yay.
I love Yozakura family.
Same.
And oh, I forgot one debut. And it's this one, which I don't watch or read, but you guys probably do. It's Hunter x Hunter. And it's more
Never
yellow.
heard of it.
Yeah, as a cover, unfortunately, I kind of think Build King was probably better than this one. Hunter x Hunter, obviously an amazing series. I don't really think this cover does it too much justice. I think the one thing that I really don't like too much is the color scheme, just like pretty much most of them. Like Gon looks kind of washed out, and also the yellow, like all the other ones too.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing this was before Tagashi settled on Gon's color scheme, giving him the more solid green color for his jacket instead of this mustard yellow that we've been given here. Like, just, yeah, it's not a good look. But hey, more Yu-Gi-Oh! Just not, a card, like, just on his fist or something. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think they were heavily hoping for Hunter x Hunter to be, or Hunter x Hunter, sorry, to be a big title. Because as far as I know, the fact that he has hiatus is because of the contract he did when starting Hunter x Hunter. Or Hunter x Hunter. So
you would think that, like, given that, like, Tagashi was more of a veteran creator at this point, they would have done more to make this cover look a little bit more interesting. I mean, like, obviously they're not necessarily saying, at least not in terms of like a title thing. They're not showing like Yu Yu Hakusho, despite the fact that this was like his big return to like a full series compared to Level E. But I just no.
I do have a couple more Hunter x Hunter covers, and these two are iconic for probably sad reasons. The first one looks like a One Piece cover, and I guess it is, or it's a group cover, I guess. But you guys can see it on the right corner, Gon there. So this is the last time that Gon was featured in a group cover, which is actually way more recently than I thought it was, which it was in August of 2017.
Well, that's sad.
It gets sadder.
Well, yeah, because Hungry Marie is on that cover, so I mean that was pretty sad.
That
as was
pretty
Robotics
sad.
Laser Beam. So, there's a lot of series on this cover that like did not do well. I mean, not a whole lot, but like you kind of see some, because wasn't this? I think this was around when Jumpstart was happening, like the one of the jump starts, the 2017 one, I think, because I mean I could be very wrong, but just going off of what series are present there.
Actually, it was a bit of manga during this time, so I actually don't know.
Fair enough.
So, and the other really sad cover, it's this one, which is a full-fledged Hunter x Hunter cover, but it is the last time Hunter x Hunter had a cover, and it was January 1st of 2013. And this wasn't even for a Hunter x Hunter chapter, it was for a spin-off.
That's pretty sad. But as for the actual cover itself, it's pretty cool. I guess I would have to say not a super huge fan of the like art in the cover, but the design and like how all the characters are positioned is pretty cool.
And it definitely has a better color palette.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was promoting the one-off that was exploring Kurapika's background. Like the reason why he set off from the village to get revenge for the village. Really sad that that was all the way back in 2013. You would think that with any of the given times that Hunter x Hunter came back, they would be like, all right, we'll give a cover page to Hunter x Hunter because it's back from hiatus. But I'm guessing maybe they didn't want to get, and this is just speculation, maybe they just weren't doing it just so people wouldn't get their hopes up, knowing that like any given run of Hunter x Hunter that we would get later on would be like 10 to 15 chapters if we were lucky. But it really is weird that like it was all the way back in 2013 that Hunter x Hunter had its last cover page, and for the Kurapika one-off at that.
No, I agree. I found it real weird. I was expecting the group cover to predate the last cover, because again, like you said, I was expecting that whenever Hunter x Hunter came back that they would promote it, and they kind of promote it. It appears in the covers, but it's not a dedicated cover.
It could also be, and again, this is more speculation on my part, but it could also just be that like at this point they don't necessarily need to like really sell people on Hunter x Hunter like being back, so that's why they keep giving other series like the cover pages, just so they can keep promoting stuff that does need promotion. Because I mean, whenever Hunter x Hunter comes out with new stuff, it sells. I mean, that's just it. That's always how like Hunter x Hunter has been. Same thing with like Berserk. Like when it comes out, it sells. So like they just take that opportunity to still promote other things, because they're like, oh, Hunter x Hunter's back, so we can really try and push for like this thing. Like, you know what we should really push right now? We should push Samurai 8 because Samurai 8 needs all the promotion it can get. And I say that despite the fact that I don't think Hunter x Hunter was... I don't think there was any chapter of Hunter x Hunter during Samurai 8's run. I could be very wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was still in the hiatus at that point.
I know for a fact that since I started reading all of Jump's chapters, or Jump series, there hasn't been an Hunter chapter. So that's at least since early 2019.
Yep, so no Samurai 8 during that time.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, they didn't cross paths.
No. So what I'm gonna do, I've been showing covers a bit randomly. I'm just gonna show them in chronological order, the others that I have here. And this one is... Can you guys guess the series?
Kinnikuman Man!
Yeah.
I don't know why his face is blue, but yeah.
I was really weirded out by this one, because actually this is the debut cover of Kinnikuman, and he looks really different from the Kinnikuman that I know. I of course never read the series. I plan to, because I really like wrestling, but it looks... he's a fish, essentially.
He looks like he has a bluefin tuna for a head. Or a yellowfin tuna, I think it was. Trying to remember what it was named from Zatch Bell, but yeah. Maybe they were just doing it to kind of give like another flash of color. Because I mean, his head is like flesh tone. Like he's got like a colored chin strap, but otherwise like his face and his like crest on the top of his head are all the same flesh color as the rest of his body. So I'm guessing that's the reason why it was colored here. Could be very wrong, but like I think it was just so that they could give it another splash of color to just not make everything flesh colored. Maybe this one time they learned their lesson about having like too much yellow or flesh color, and they were like, we need color here. Not that they learned the lesson for long.
I was about to say that, like, we so far established that they don't really know color theory, so not sure. I'm actually, maybe the author draws the characters and someone else takes care of the backgrounds, and so they don't really talk and coordinate. I'm not sure. But for a cover that has a lot of color, this is one of my favorite covers that I've seen from Dragon Ball. It's just really
Oh, that
colorful.
is beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy this cover. The color scheme I like a lot better. Obviously, because the background's not yellow. Like kind of like the aesthetic and art style is just really unique, I think, from a lot of the other covers, and it stands out a lot to me.
Yeah, it's very cartoonish.
Really captures kind of my love for early Dragon Ball, though. Like the fact that they could have a cover this fun just really goes to show that like Dragon Ball was capable of pulling off that vibe back in the day. Like who would expect to see Goku playing baseball on a cover of Shonen Jump? Like I wouldn't. Like yeah, it's been like there have been gag episodes throughout the series and whatnot, but like you would never expect to see a game of baseball being played by Dragon Ball characters on a cover. So that is really cool that this is a piece of history right here.
And for comparison, this is another Dragon Ball cover.
What the fuck?
I'm going to assume this was made to promote a PlayStation video game or something, because that's the vibe I'm getting.
I mean, I hope so, because that's just super weird. Like the font, first of all, and then just Goku's model's just really creepy.
Yeah, you wouldn't buy
There's
this.
so much wrong here. There's so much wrong. The fact that like weird 3D model like prototype Gantz 3D artwork like Goku is here, like his flesh color is just blending into the pink in the background, and just oh my god. And yeah, the fact that they chose that font for Dragon, it's the Bleach thing all over again, but worse. Like what is this? Who okayed this?
Aren't you gonna complain about the pink letters on the pink background?
You know what? That's not even the worst part of it. So no, you know that's fine in
You're gonna let
comparison
it
to
slide.
everything else that's wrong here.
Okay. I have another Dragon Ball cover. Kinda. This is a group cover, but from the time where Goku was the central character from Jump. And if I'm correct, I didn't research this, but I think this is when Jump became the #1 magazine in Japan.
That would make sense. I mean, at the same time, is this also their 500th issue?
No.
Is that what it is?
that was my
What's-
first thought, but it's like issue like 1000 or something, so no.
Gotcha. I mean, wow. It's like, don't get me wrong. This is really cool that this is like a group shot, and it's interesting to see like some of the characters and whatnot that are there. Key thing being that this is still when you had the remnants of the Hokuto no Ken era, with how many guys look so similar to each other. So like that's definitely interesting. It's like seeing like Joseph from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Is that, I could be very wrong, is that like the on the far left, is that the protagonist from Rokudenashi Blues? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like just looking at some of the more background guys, it's just like, oh look, it's all the Ken clones.
Then on the front is all the Who.
All the gag characters.
Yeah.
All the chibi gag characters. And the one guy on the far right that's literally just a forehead with vertical eyebrows.
So moving on, we have. Actually, this is a Saint Seiya cover. I don't like Saint Seiya. I don't know what's your guys' opinions of Saint Seiya, but I really like this cover.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the series, but the cover looks pretty cool. Kind of like seems like a magical element than with the stars and all the rays in the background. Like the character designs definitely like stick out to me. One thing is, I hope that the font isn't important, like what they're trying to say in the pink on the characters. Like I hope it doesn't really matter, because I don't really see how people can easily read it. I think that's probably like a common issue with all of like the light pink fonts just like blending into the covers.
Dear God, I didn't even realize that was text until you said that. I literally thought it was just like rays of like pink light coming off of it. But yeah, that. Oh man, is bad design choice right there. I mean, the design of the cover itself is great. I'm very small fan of Saint Seiya. Like, I've watched bits and pieces of it here and there. It's another one of those eternal series that can get rebooted again and again and again. I mean, like, Saint Seiya has been redone as like an anime like 6 times, I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's one of those series that keeps coming back just because it's got, you know, an interesting enough plot and character designs that they can keep doing that. Don't get me wrong, the cover's really cool, but it's like 4 friends holding hands together, really weird. Like, the fact too that like only one person like has a different skin tone than the other 3, with like the fact that they have like 2 layers of hands that are essentially like the same hand on top of each other. I'm nitpicking here, but it's just like the power of friendships means holding hands together.
Saint Seiya was like one of the first manga that really used the power of friendship as well, so it makes sense.
Well, even though they constantly beat each other up in fighting arena and stuff, but yeah, you know, friendship, yay.
Yeah, they were. Even one of the bad guys was basically Vegeta, I guess, that came coming back because he was friends with the guys.
Yeah, that's Saint Seiya in a nutshell for you.
Yeah. So I wanted to have one Slam Dunk cover, just because it is Slam Dunk, and so I decided on this one.
I really like the cover. Colors are better, I think. I like how the front character like really stands out when you see him dunking or going for a layup or something. Again, the font, the pink font as the rays of lights. I can never get over that.
It is similar. It is similar to Saint Seiya. But with
it had
the
to be
basketball.
like, I'm wondering if it was just like some random like editor in chief or somebody like high up, and it was just like, you know what this cover needs? More pink text ray color things. It's like, please, sir, please, no. We've already done hundreds of these. It's like, no, there must be more. I demand the pink. It's like, please, sir, we can't. The fans can't read the pink, sir. I don't care.
That is the point. For something that I think doesn't have pink, to be honest, I'm only noticing the pink letters when you guys show me to me. JoJo's Part 4, and this is extremely yellow.
No, there's pink text. It's on the left, and it's on Rohan.
Yeah.
There's more pink text.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, this is probably my favorite JoJo's part, and probably one of the worst covers that I've seen so far. It's always the yellow. I don't know why they keep on doing this, but the yellow background and then everything, like, with the yellow kind of blending into the characters. And then Rohan bottom left just almost blending into the background. I didn't even see his jacket at first because it was so yellow. I mean, and then we still have the, like, light pink text going. I mean, I'm glad that they stopped that at least, but I don't know.
Yeah, the Josuke, Jotaro, and Koichi stuff, great. Looks fine. But I completely agree with, like, the yellow. The fact that, like, you wouldn't necessarily think that Rohan is there until you look at Josuke's armpit, and it's like, oh, there's Rohan's head. And, like, even Okuyasu a bit is just kind of blending in with the yellow. So it's just, yeah, really unfortunate. But, yeah, no, I immediately knew Rohan was there because I was immediately searching out for pink text, and I found it. So, yeah. Bad.
You know what this cover looks like? It looks like if you guys left the issue a couple of days in the sun. That's kind of what it looks like.
That is a perfect analogy right there.
And moving a couple of years, a couple of decades, if you guys are sick and tired of these colors, I have the perfect solution for you guys. Black and white. And this is a couple of really cool covers that I'm gonna show just almost back to back. but yeah, I really like these black and white covers.
That is, I really like that. I think that really makes it pop. Like, weird to say that black and white makes it pop, but at the same time, compared to all the yellow we've been seeing, it's just kind of like, ugh. But it's also interesting that we've got random English here with the game and life go together under Weekly Shonen Jump, but otherwise, like the image of Yami Yugi there is really striking.
Yeah. It does seem like a lot of the text in this issue is in English. It's barely readable as well. But if you look at the between Yugi and the Japanese letters, it does say something in English.
Those are names in English there, or at least names written out in English.
Yeah, exactly, in the English alphabet. But yeah, compared to that, we also have a One Piece cover that is very similar to that one, and this is one of my favorites. Of course, I love One Piece, but I just really like how it looks very hand drawn, which is not very much the case with all the other covers. It looks like a manga.
Yeah, I also really enjoy this cover for the same reason. Like how you have the nice and simple black and white, and then contrasted with the red background. Like even some white paint splatters near Luffy, and then you have some of like the red bleeding into the hair. I think it's probably one of the better covers that we've seen so far.
I'm gonna be the random dissenting comment and say I don't like seeing a black and white character against a red background. Oh wait, my icon is that. Never mind. No. I really enjoy this cover as well. Black and white and red is always a very striking color scheme that I love. Obviously, I'm exploiting it myself, but like it's really cool to see. And yeah, like you don't get to see like a rough drawn character image like that on covers unless that's like the art style of a manga. So to see that here is really interesting.
Yeah, it's really different from pretty much all the others. Even this one, which is again black and white, this is Bleach, so it kind of is. It feels like Bleach, but it is a bit more clean.
I mean, a lot more clean. I mean, like that looks like a lot better than the debut issue where they just slapped a Yu-Gi-Oh card and like 3 other series on the bottom. Not to mention we have like the actual like series lettering for Bleach at the bottom in the blue and red, which again is another nice contrast. So this is a lot better than the debut issue for Bleach. So this is a nice return to form.
Of course, this is I'm assuming this is from Soul Society arc. Let me just see if I wrote the date. It's from 2006, so it should be around the Soul Society arc. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
It was the height of the popularity.
Yeah, it's also crazy just how much Ichigo's facial structure already changed with Kubo's art style here. Like it's a lot less choppy, I guess.
Yeah, it changed a lot. And there's a lot of people who don't like later Ichigo or later Bleach art style. I really like the character designs.
I think both are great. Like by all means, like early pre-Soul Society Bleach was still Kubo in his like zombie powder art stage. And then Soul Society is where like everything sharpened up and like that was more or less the art style going forward. And both of them definitely have their charm. I myself, I definitely liked the Soul Society arc art moving forward, just because I did appreciate the cleanliness of it all. But I can definitely understand where people liked that more definitely retro kind of art vibe that the early part of the series had.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for nostalgia, I can understand. Okay, before I show you guys the next cover, I just need you to know if you guys know this series. It's Bobo 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 or something.
Absolutely. I used to watch it on Toonami back in the day, so I'm very familiar with Bobobo.
Okay, so I never seen it. I know what it is. I don't know if you know what it is, Tron.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, so
Oh my god. This is
do you want to
gonna be great.
explain? Do you want to explain since you've seen the series just a little bit of what it
Yeah.
is?
Okay, so Bobobo, which that is the name, and it's like separated into like 3 parts with varying amounts of bo in the name. Is a gag series that ran in Jump. It was another one of those series that a lot of its gags were just based on absurdity, just out of nowhere, and a lot of references. So very similar to like Gintama or Roboco in that like a lot of their strength came from making outside references to the series. And the main character, Bobobo, was this tall dude with a blonde afro who used the super fist of the nose hair technique to fight his enemies. And yes, that sounds absurd. It is absurd. He literally fought people with his nose hair, but at the same time, some of his techniques would be super fist of the nose hair, but then make a really random reference instead of actually fighting with nose hair. And the series was super weird, but that was also part of its charm. And for whatever reason, Cartoon Network and Toonami was like, yeah, let's localize that shit back in like the mid 2000s. So yeah, there was a dub for the show, but it's just show the cover. Crash.
Okay. I do have
this
a
reaction.
question before I show the cover, which is this is the cover of Bobobo collabing with another manga from Jump, and I want to see if you guys can guess what it is. So this cover is from 2006 as well. So it is the series from that time. Can you guess? No?
It hasn't come up yet.
Okay, so the series is...
Oh no, I mean, I can't see the image yet.
Oh,
Oh,
I
there
haven't
we go.
shown you.
Oh
I haven't
my
shown you. I
God.
was waiting for you to guess. Death Note.
Oh my god.
So yeah, and there's an alternative cover which I also really like, which is as the artists switching out styles, and Bobo with Obata's art style is just really cool.
I can't. I can't. I'm laughing too much.
You cannot deal with this.
I love it because again, the fact that like they put frickin' Bobobo on the cover with Ryuk, and then they made the authors switch like art, and so for the second cover they have Bobobo's creator drawing Ryuk with his mouth full of apples, yet he's holding a lemon. Like, my god. What do you think, Tron? What do you feel with these covers?
I mean, it's a pretty like unique cover for one thing. Always really cool to see artists draw different characters and like the style switch. It's kind of like off-putting to see Ryuk depicted in this way, like just having fun, full of apples, holding the lemon.
Yeah, it goes against what Death Note is.
I'm more
Yeah.
disturbed by Bobobo being drawn in that art style than I am of Ryuk being drawn in that style. Like, that's just so hyper realistic Bobobo. I'm just like, ugh. But he didn't take that opportunity to really draw out the nose hairs. So
Yeah, that's sad. And for the next cover, this is the cover that they released in the 45th anniversary of Jump. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen this one around. I've seen this one edited a couple of times, and the edit is removing the colors of each series as it ends. And as you guys can see, it has a lot of like very iconic series like One Piece, Naruto, Toriko, Assassination Classroom, Nisekoi, Beelzebub, IQ, just Kuroko no Basket. And all of these series, except One Piece, have ended by now.
Yeah, I've actually seen the edits you're talking about. It's kind of sad to see One Piece is the last one standing, but as a cover, I really like it. Again, I kind of just wish that I mean, obviously they probably can't because of like sponsorship deals and stuff like that, but I really wish that they just removed some of the clutter like in the top right. The Hunter x Hunter thing is cool, but I can't really see what the poster is like in the pink thing. But I feel like it would look better if they just removed some of that extra stuff and just let the characters shine.
They could put it in the back.
The pink thing is a calendar. If I had to, I think it's a One Piece calendar, maybe. But yeah, that's what it looks to be like there. Kind of, in a way, it's kind of sad that like Hunter x Hunter. I think that cover is promoting the movie that was coming out for Hunter x Hunter. But it's kind of sad that, like, you have that in the top right corner, but you don't have Gon amongst the manga characters. But I think that's because Hunter x Hunter was on hiatus at that time, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. This was, 5 years ago, so it was most likely on hiatus. Actually, it's probably like 8 years ago, because time flies way too fast. And I have the last cover of One Piece, or exclusive from One Piece, of today's video, and it's the cover for the Guinness World Records, which gave it One Piece the record for most copies published for the same comic book series by a single author. So there's only two comic book series that sold more than One Piece, and they are Superman and Batman.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy, because it always gets compared to like Superman and Batman in terms of sales, but when you really think about how many different iterations there are of Western comics, like versions, authors, artists, meanwhile Oda's just been doing all of this by himself from the beginning, and he's still managing to sell this much. And then, besides just that aspect, as a cover, I also think it looks really cool how we have Luffy holding the world record, and then we have the background kind of with the brown and white instead of just completely yellowish. So yeah, overall I really enjoy this cover.
Yeah, I also like that they're showing
Definitely
the panels of One Piece in the background.
Yep, I can, like, for example, they've got the moment where Shanks puts the straw hat on Luffy for the first time. They've got an inverse image of Nico Robin saying, "I want to live." I can't necessarily... Oh, I think they've got, like, a inverse image of Nami crying during the Arlong arc, too.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely some interesting stuff there. It is really interesting to note, you know, like Tron mentioned, the comparison to, you know, Western comics and whatnot. Because, yeah, compared to One Piece, Superman and Batman have rebooted themselves several times over, and retelling the same story time and time again while adding new stuff along the way, compared to One Piece that has literally just been a continuous series from start to finish. And the fact that it has sold as much as it is absolutely insane. But I mean, at the same time, also incredibly insane the fact that, like, I believe last year, the fact that Demon Slayer sold more volumes than, like, the entire comic industry, I think, is just a kind of a telling thing that, like, the manga takeover is real, and if the comic book industry doesn't change, they're just going to be left in the dust, just moving forward.
Yeah. I think it is changing a little bit. At least it is imitating a lot of manga. There's a lot more comic book series that resemble manga, like a lot of graphical novels. Not sure if that is exactly the solution we should go for, but yeah.
Well, and you also see comic characters making their debuts in manga.
True.
The fact that, like, right now we have manga series for Deadpool, Joker, and Batman. Like, that's I mean, it's not unheard of. I mean, like, Marvel and DC have been doing stuff over like the decades. But the fact that like you have all those running right now is definitely interesting.
And for another celebration, so we saw the 45th anniversary. So this is the 50th anniversary, and I picked this one exclusively for Goku, drawn by Oda, because it is just cursed.
Yeah, that is very unsettling to look at. Like when I first saw it, it really just looks like Luffy's face, but on Goku, kinda. Like I'm not used to Goku's face being drawn like that. It's pretty creepy to me.
Yeah, because everything else looks pretty fine. It's especially like Naruto by Horikoshi. But that Goku, man.
Or Hiei drawn by Tabata. I like that. I have no idea what the horse is from that Hinata is riding, but like guessing that is a horse from something. I just don't know what, but because didn't the issue preceding this one have like other characters drawn by the other artists?
I think it's the back cover or the poster, not sure, but yeah, it is like a double feature. This is not the entire picture, I guess.
Gotcha. But yeah, the fact that like they literally just copy and pasted Luffy's eyes and eyebrows onto Goku in the nose onto Goku is just Uncanny Valley. Well, no, not Uncanny Valley, but just off-putting.
Unsettling Valley.
There we go.
Okay, so we're reaching like brand new series, and I really like this one. Brand new series or ongoing series, and this is the one of My Hero Academia's covers. I think My Hero Academia always has great covers, but I really like this one, especially because of the logo. I think it just looks really, really awesome.
Yeah, I also really enjoy this cover with like Deku popping out, and how the logo blends in with the color scheme in the background, and also like the white text surrounding Deku. I think they finally figured out the text here. Not like pink anymore, it's white, it stands out. Like everything just kind of pops with the cover and the art style, but it's still like it's able to keep the art style and stay true to the MHA while also fitting with the cover of Shonen Jump.
Now, it's interesting that you mentioned that they figured out the text thing with the white around Deku, because my only issue with this cover is the text choice that they made with the My Hero Academia at the bottom of the cover, because I don't like what they're doing there. I don't like that they've got the random letters that are just kind of popping out. Like I get that, like, you know, they're trying to show off like certain parts of like their body and whatnot in their hands, but like you couldn't have picked like a solid color or whatnot to do that with, instead of like let's randomly have green and red and two letters that are in yellow, and just no rhyme or reason necessarily to which colors are which. It's just I don't like that aspect of this cover. Everything else is great, but like I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Actually quite like it. The colors are a bit random, again, like Ron said. It does blend with the colors of the page, the cover scheme, so I think it fits. It's my personal opinion.
No, that's fair. I can respect that. It's just, for me, it's just I don't like the randomness that they went there with.
I was expecting you to complain about the pink letters.
But there aren't any pink letters. Well, I mean, like
there are,
there's
but
like
they're not.
above Weekly
They are.
Shonen Jump, but
It's good pink letters.
It's not tiny rays of light disguised as text or something, so it's not as bad compared to the other ones.
So we have, I'm pretty mixed on this next cover, which is Promised Neverland cover. It's a very realistic. It's like some of the others we've seen, in the Promised Neverland style, I guess. But I don't know. Part of me likes it. Part of me doesn't really like it, especially the guy on the right. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is really. It's like it's kind of creepy, but to me, I know that Shonen Jump, Weekly Shonen Jump, obviously there's a lot of series in it and they can't do it, but again, I still would really enjoy it if they kind of just like had just maybe the Shonen Jump logo, then just the picture of these three characters and like nothing else, like not the red text, not the world trigger stuff in the bottom right, and kind of just if almost each week they just let like one series shine as just being alone on the cover, and then you could still do the group covers but without all of like the extra just like spam and stuff all over it.
It would be really nice if, like, to that point, if, like, you know, they had like the cleaner version of the cover on the front and then like the advertisement one on the second page. That would be really cool if they did, or even if they did it reverse, just so like you could have that clean image, because I do agree, that would there are definitely a lot of series that are deserving of that, especially for the ones that are more art focused. You know, not for the ones that are necessarily just like, oh hey, here's the main character for the series on the cover, like, because yeah, like for this one for instance, this would definitely be really cool to see, but I know like they have a very limited number of color pages that they can work with in their magazine, so maybe that's why. I don't really know. Otherwise, for me this is a really cool cover, but it definitely is unsettling. Like, I'm not necessarily as unsettled by the guy on the right. I'm more unsettled by what I'm seeing in the middle. Just her face is just kind of
Her nose.
yeah, or kind of semi lack thereof, but the really brooding eyebrows. Like, let's give her really strong like eyebrows, but just really make her nose super light. Just I don't know what's going on there.
And like I've looked through all the covers, and I can assure you that I've never seen any cover that doesn't have any kind of advertisement for other series. So, just not a thing that they do.
Well, I think that's just how they managed to sell it for like $3, is
Yeah.
because they have all the advertisements that they do.
So this one was Tron that showed me, and I understand why. I really like the Chainsaw Man cup in the top right corner. Yeah.
Yes, Chainsaw Man cup.
Yeah, definitely.
Most important thing.
Yeah, I really just enjoy this cover in general. So, like, obviously it's a Halloween special edition for JJK. I like the chibi Nobara, Gojo, Megumi. Then we have Yuji looking kind of scary, eating the cookie. I just think that, to me, it seems like one of the most like clean and polished like art styles on the cover of Shonen Jump.
No, I agree. And from all the series that they could have gone with, even if I'm not the biggest fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, I will admit that it is the best one to go as an Halloween team. Just really fits the style.
Yeah, absolutely. I like this tiny detail here, but I like that underneath the cookie that Yuji's eating, it says curse or treat in English. So I think that's a really nice detail there. I also love the fact that like Megumi, Nobara, and Gojo are all kind of dressed like vampires. They all have the same kind of like tuxedo look with the pop collars and whatnot. So this is a really great one. And in terms of like the art based covers, this is a fun one for sure.
And the color palette is just fantastic, like the purple and orange. It really pops up. And this isn't the last one. I also have the anniversary covers for our anniversaries, but before I go into that, this is the last, which is a Roboko cover, because it happened. And
yeah, this is the one I requested.
yeah. And the curious thing about this is, if we count this as a group cover, this is like the only group cover in the past like 20 years or 15 years or something that does not have Luffy as the front character.
This is true. And on a sad note, this is also the last, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the last group cover that Actage was featured on, because I believe I could be very wrong in this regard, but
it might be close. I remember, like, for the Volume 1 release of Roboco, they removed one of the jokes they had for Actage. So it got cancelled, like, not long after this cover.
right.
But I just like it. It's a fun cover.
It really is fun. Just the fact that you have all these characters drawn in that style as a gag, like, really is funny. Just like seeing characters that you wouldn't normally see drawn like this in any capacity, drawn like that is really funny. Yeah.
What I also like is that it does show that Roboco's author does care for or does read the manga, because, for example, everyone has the same face, more or less, but then you look at Mashal or Mash, and he doesn't, because he's always like this deadpan character. And I think that's a really fun detail.
Agreed.
And so the birthday issues, I think we should do from oldest to youngest. And because you're really old, Axel, your cover has...
Don't say that. You're also from 92.
No.
That being said, my cover is freaking awesome. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous cover right there. Are you kidding me? My birthday issue is a Yu Yu Hakusho one. That is freaking amazing.
Also, pink lettering everywhere.
I'll forgive it this one time just because my birthday issue. But I love that this is that it just so happens that my birthday issue is during the Dark Tournament arc. Like, that's great. I love the fact that they have the different characters and like the different colors. Obviously, the pink lettering sucks. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, but the way that this is drawn is really cool.
No, I agree. And just to one up you, my birthday issue is also Yu Yu Hakusho.
All right, you know what? I can't complain.
Mine just says, I actually don't know the character because I haven't seen the anime or the manga.
You don't know, Yusuke Urameshi?
Yes. I put it on
How
the
dare.
challenge, so I shall read it soon.
All right, I'll forgive you this one time, but I mean, I like this cover. I do. But I don't know that I necessarily like the random thorn stuff there.
Is it random? I'm assuming it was something from whatever chapter this was in. It doesn't look random. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the series.
I guess I would have to look back, but I don't necessarily remember it. This had to be like it had to have been during like the Dark Tournament arc. I can't remember anyone specifically.
Yeah. I might be mistaken, but isn't that Kurama's whip that he's holding?
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
But because of that, it kind of makes me think that maybe it wasn't like from an arc, because they wouldn't be fighting unless Kurama's like trying to pull him up or something, I guess.
Right. And that jacket, if I'm not mistaken, was worn by Kuwabara at the end of the Dark Tournament arc. And maybe this, and I could be very wrong on this, I think this art is supposed to represent that Yusuke is more or less fighting with the hopes of the rest of the team on his shoulders, because if we're assuming everything else, so he's got Kuwabara's jacket on, he's got Kurama's vines, but then the way that the vines are moving down his arms, as well as like the blood marks, is representing Hiei's technique. So I think that's what we're seeing in this cover, is like a combination of those three characters represented by Yusuke.
Yeah.
So in that regard, that's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go with you guys. I have no idea. I haven't seen the series. I like the cover. I like him completely bloodied. It's kind of weird that his hand has this yellow bleed into it. But other than that, I think it's a pretty badass cover.
Well, that's a reference to like his technique. Well, one of his techniques. That's I believe when he's doing the fist. At least if he's charging up an attack, that's the spirit shotgun. Although he's also a very punchy person, so. But I think that's what's being shown with both of our covers, is that's the spirit shotgun with the fist charging up spirit energy.
Yeah, okay, it does make sense if I look at yours, yeah. And Tron, you are from 10 years after from this cover, which this is from December, so you're both from December. And of course, since you're from December, we have a Christmas cover. And it's Naruto. I actually quite like this one.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. Naruto is one of my favorite series. Cool seeing Naruto and the rest of Team 7 all in the Christmas stuff. Like the gradient on the Jump logo too up top and the snowflakes in the background. Just solid cover overall.
Sasuke is definitely not happy to be there on this image. But the rest of it is great.
Yeah. I was actually going to mention the gradient on the cover, on the logo, because I think it's really cool as well. That's all the covers I have for you guys today. So I hope you guys had fun.
It was definitely a blast getting to go through the history here, and by like the fact that like there are over 2,000 covers of Shonen Jump because it's been going on for 50 plus years. Like there's been some bangers, there's been some not so bangers. I'm looking at you, that Dragon Ball Z cover. That's gonna haunt my dreams.
Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot. I do have.
You had
one.
you had one more live action one, didn't you?
I forgot. I do have the best cover. Oh, it's this one.
Oh my!
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's very interesting. I'll say that at least.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is on the Jump cover. Yep. That's amazing.
Just randomly on the Jump cover from 1991.
Okay, I was gonna say that is a totally 90s shirt that he's wearing. So, dear God,
just so random.
Oh my God.
There's also, I don't have it here. I think there's also a Muhammad Ali cover from around the same time.
That's amazing. That's, oh my God. But the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger is on an issue of Shonen Jump, like, I hope that man has a copy of this, because like this is amazing.
No idea how they got him to do this. But yeah.
I mean, just like they do anybody that's like an American actor, well, not that he's American, but any celebrity personality, they bring them over with lots and lots of money, and then they get it to work. Because, I mean, let's be honest here, like, Japan has a lot of really, really weird, yet interesting ads featuring celebrities that you would not expect them to do, and yet, there they are. And, yeah, wow. And I don't know the name of the gag series that's there, but I know it is it was a big one in Jump history, because I'm pretty sure that main character there was in one or more of the Jump Force, well, not Jump, well, is it Jump Force games? Not the most recent one that was not in the continuation.
Jump VS.
Yes, the Jump VS series. Because I'm pretty sure he was in the last one before they did the most recent Jump Force thing. I'm pretty sure he was a selectable fighter. So, yeah, it's but oh my god, this is great. Oh my god, Arnold Schwarzenegger on Jump. This is fantastic.
I think it would be a nice one to end things with.
Not that Christmas Naruto wasn't a nice one to end with.
It was, but it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sorry, Tron.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I think this is it. So, do you guys have any last thing to say?
Not super fun being here. Thanks for having me, and for everyone watching. Really hope that you enjoyed the video.
Yes, for anyone that made it this far into the video, you are the real MVP.
1 hour
I
and
know
a half.
we've been. Yeah, well, this is a lot better than my really long one. So I mean, you got that going.
5 hours.
Oh my god. Yeah, don't remind me. But yeah, no, it was great to finally do a collab video together. This was definitely a fun one to do. That aligned with all of our interests, so that is fantastic. And yeah, just plug in the rest of our channels as well as yours. If you haven't subscribed to the three of us already, make sure to do so, especially Crash for putting this on. But yeah, give our channels a look and see what you like, and hopefully you like what you see. So, but yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And yes, I'll leave your links for your channels in the description below. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, check everyone. And if you watch it till here, thank you very much. And I'll see you next video.